It is the report no one in Washington wants to talk about. Medicare and Social Security, as we know, in big trouble right now, underfunded by a staggering $175 trillion, according to a new report from the U.S. Treasury Department. That means it won't be around for this generation of America's children unless radical changes are made. Joining us here right now this morning to discuss, the CEO and founder of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski. Good morning to you, sir. You've gone over this report. It is really hard to fathom that amount of money, $175 trillion. Put this in context for us.
Well, Jan, last year, if you take up the entire economic output of every country on planet Earth, it's about $100 trillion. This unfunded liability that U.S. taxpayers face over the next 75 years is $175 trillion. Here's another way to look at it. If you take a look at all federal spending since the start of our country, when the Constitution was written in 1787, if you add it all up, this number rivals all federal spending since the start of our country. So it's a massive unfunded liability, and it threatens to bankrupt our country.
Yeah, there's a lot of zeros behind that 175 there. And you know, everyone talks about the national debt. However, these programs are generating additional liabilities as well. So talk about some of the programs and just how much money they need to survive.
Well, it's not getting better. It's actually getting worse, and it's rapidly getting worse. Jan, we took a look at this number of unfunded liability on Medicare and Social Security 10 years ago in 2013, and the number was $128 trillion. So just over the course of the last 10 years, our unfunded liabilities have grown by $50 trillion. And it's not our number. This number comes from the United States Treasury. This latest report was issued 2 weeks ago. Nobody put a spotlight on it,
right.
And it was signed by U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. So you have to take it seriously. Social Security itself says that the trust funds are going to start to run out of money in 10 years. Medicare says that it'll have to cut benefits over the course of the next 7 years. So this is a crisis in real time.
I am so surprised we did not hear more about this. How did we get here, though?
Well, these are promises made without the money being there to pay them. And so, these are the programs of good intentions. The politicians, they dole out benefits in real time for votes, but they're not held accountable for that future spending. And so, look, there's only two ways to pay for these programs. It's payroll taxes and it's premium payments, and there's just not enough money being taken to pay for the promises out into the future. Now, this year alone, for example, Medicare and Social Security are upside down on the amount of money they brought in versus the amount of money they paid out by $500 billion. So it's also affecting this year's budget.
And then you've got these lawmakers who don't even want to mention changes to Social Security or Medicare because voters start to freak out, especially during election years. But you've outlined 3 ways to help the system become solvent, and they're not unreasonable ways either. What are those ideas?
Well, the federal government admits to roughly $150 billion worth of mistakes, improper payments every single year. That means during the 4 years of the Biden administration, they're going to admit on Medicare, Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, $600 billion worth of mistakes. Your corner grocery store has better in-house financial accounting controls than these underfunded programs. So stop the improper payments. Here's the second thing. The benefits promised are obviously unsustainable. Grandfather everybody today, but everybody else cap the benefits. And number 3, you got to get your hands on legal immigration. We have no idea about the 9 million illegal entrants, if they're going to pay more in taxes than what they take out of the system or not. And if they're going to be a cost to the system, Jan, we're in worse shape than what we're even talking about.
Yeah. All right, CEO and founder of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski, thank you for putting a spotlight on this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.